Hello and welcome once again to Leafwire's Industry Trailblazers, where we speak with and learn from some of the industry's true pioneers. Today, I'm so glad to welcome Brett Puffenbarger. Thanks so much for being with us today, Brett.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so here I'll just give a little overview, a little intro. Brett is a Marine Corps veteran, award-winning B2B marketer, and so he really is involved in all aspects of the industry, including public relations, business development, sales, and customer success. He's working on a PhD right now in strategic marketing with a focus on go-to-market strategies in the cannabis industry. And then he also, most importantly, serves on the advisory board for HeroGrown, where he helps veterans transition into the legal cannabis market. So, yes, all great reasons to have you. And thanks so much for joining us today.
It always makes me sound cooler than I think I am.
Hey, that's the whole purpose of bios, right? They're meant to make us, at least feel cool anyway, even if we're not, There you go. Maybe we could just first start, with how you got into the industry. What was your intro to cannabis, and tell us that story.
This is a good one. So got out of the military, led a pretty terrible life for a little bit, did some entrepreneurial endeavors that didn't go so well. Ended up figuring out that I learned how to sell and I was really good at it. So I got a job working at Harley Davidson. And I worked at Harley Davidson for like years, almost a decade. Worked my way up, ended up being a director of business development, working primarily in B2B Harley sales. So selling rental fleets from American dealerships to foreign branded Harley dealerships. Kind of a complicated endeavor, but basically I made a name for myself. Somewhere along the way, I started smoking weed, and it basically came down to an ex-girlfriend of mine was not very nice to me way before I met my wife, who's amazing, and it was just a whole different world. But basically she said, "You're kind of a jerk and you should smoke some weed." And I said, "Okay, I'm gonna try." Didn't know how. I ended up buying an eighth off of her mom, like making a gravity bong off of YouTube. Like it was a whole thing. But it changed my life. So I started consuming cannabis, ended up getting fired from Harley Davidson for failing a urinalysis. Of course, not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. Somebody knocked a bike off a trailer when it was getting delivered, and the insurance said you gotta P-test everybody on premises, everybody that's working today. And I said, because it wasn't quite legal in Florida where I was living. So long story short, I ended up a couple months prior had sold a motorcycle to one of the founders of one of the first cannabis licensees. Called him, said, "Hey man, I was good enough to sell a motorcycle to you. You think I could sell some weed for you? Did you know that 70% of our revenue comes from retail, not actual motorcycle sales?" So like t-shirts, hats, leather jackets. And he said, sure. So he put me on the retail opening team with this dude who worked at Disney for 10 years. So it was the Harley guy and the Disney guy opening retail locations in Florida.
Cool.
And that feels like a long time ago now.
I love that story, because, a lot of people you talk to, there's a medical reason, but it sounds like you just had someone who said, you need to chill out.
Yeah, I mean, I would call it medical, right? I'm a veteran. I no shame in my game admitting I have PTSD. I definitely have used it as a treatment for that. But with that sort of thing, there's a fine line between you just need to chill the fuck out and this is a clinical diagnosis of you have post-traumatic stress disorder and these are symptoms of that. I don't know that at the time I was as self-aware of that as I am now, right?
Okay. So it helps you to sounds like it also helped you to just become more aware of what you were suffering from then.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
That and a lot of therapy, a lot of work, meeting my wife, who's a fucking saint. A lot of other things have gone into the equation too. But yeah.
Oh, well, before I forget, thank you for your service then, too.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Okay, well, so maybe just talk about the present a little bit. What are you doing now on the business side of things?
Yeah, so we started Good Ideas back during the pandemic. I left my job running sales and marketing for an extraction equipment manufacturer and said, I've had enough seasoning at this point. Like, there's a whole lot of things that I've noticed with partners and people we sold to where they were missing baseline basics and fundamentals of like sales, marketing, customer success, because I've always been all three. Like, I think I typically get recognized as a marketer, right? Like, that's how it kind of works. But I was a sales guy first, and my background, my mentality was always in like the marketing operations, sales operations, what I guess in a modern world would be called revenue operations world. So I've always looked at all three holistically. So we started Good Ideas with the concept that we wanted to help cannabis companies. It doesn't matter if it's plant touching or B2B. Primarily, most of our clientele throughout the years have been B2B. So everything from cannabis tech companies to ingredient manufacturers and suppliers to packaging to all of those things. But basically, that's it. So the last 5 years has been a combination of either working contractor fractional roles, VP of marketing, CRO, CMO, those sort of roles, or a la carte services for, again, primarily B2B companies in the cannabis space. So people targeting plant touching cannabis operators. It's been great. I work with my wife. We've got some cool partners and some people we work with. She's a master in like change management, human resources, those sort of things. And when you come in like I do with that strong like CRO punch to like, you got to get your shit together and like do it. She's kind of that other side of the equation that's like, let's make sure that people don't panic. Let's make sure we keep as many of the good people as we can. Let's make sure we're covered on all of the bases for all of that. But that's basically what we do. So everything from like brand audits and gap analyses for people that are like, I'm not getting the best at my marketing. My marketing and sales teams are fighting all the time. I'm losing customers for retention. Any of those sort of problems come to us on a regular basis, and hopefully we solve them.
And that's really for companies across the spectrum.
Yeah, big or small. We've worked with MSOs. We've worked with old school legacy guys just trying to get some basic structure put together. Currently, we're working with a pretty big ticket ingredient supplier who touches billions of dollars in products across the industry. We've worked with HR and payroll companies, banking companies. We've worked with, you name it, man, like literally if they are trying to target operators, having come from the operator side, right? Being a retail operator, being inside of a vertical operation, it's given me a unique perspective to be able to level set with any and all clientele, because the number one thing you have to do is understand your audience. And most of these companies, and this isn't a dig on any of them, it's why they call us, but most of them don't truly understand their audience, or more specifically, the pain points their audience is experiencing within their kind of sub-niche. And then most of them don't truly know how to measure the ROI of their activities. They don't know how to like truly measure, like, I spent X dollars at this trade show and I derived Y amount of sales out of it. Most people just kind of throw their hands up and say, oh, it's cannabis, it's hard, this sucks. Meh, don't worry about it. We help them systematize those sort of things.
I saw a stat recently that 80% of retail licensees don't turn a profit.
I believe that.
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know if there's a magic formula or something, but there's definitely a demand out there for people to need help.
Probably not a magic formula, but there are definitely ways that they can do it. My experience on the retail side is most of them overspend on under-functioning tech stacks. That, and they don't truly understand like the, I guess you would call it the demand planning aspect. So they go for like the cheapest, highest THC flower and think it's going to do something. Whereas the more successful retailers, they look for brands that will drive foot traffic. They look for tech stacks that will actually result in more people, right? Especially in retail, the 80-20 rule is everything. 80% of your sales come from 20% of your customers, unless you're in a high traffic touristy area like Las Vegas. And then it's a little bit of a different kind of mentality, but loyalty programs matter so much to retailers, and then making sure you're getting what you pay for out of the products you're buying to put on your shelves. And then honestly, like, hire somebody that's worked at a grocery store for more than a year and your life will be better, because like planograms are their friends, and too many cannabis retail locations just look like chaos. Even the ones that are beautiful and clean and they think they look like an Apple store, there's no rhyme or reason to it. They didn't put the low purchase intent, high turnover items at the counter. They didn't put the high ticket stuff in the back so you have to walk through it. They don't plan it. And most people don't even realize that. Like when you go to Costco, my favorite example of this is, did you know they lose money with every chicken they sell you? The rotisserie chicken, but they put it in the back so you have to walk through all the other bullshit to get to it because they know you're going to buy 20 other things on the way.
I love that chicken too.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
That's really interesting. Cool. Well, yes, thank you for that. And I think this is so important just for the long-term health of our industry. That's what we try to do at Leafwire too, is help people to actually make their dream come true. That's really what it's about. But I'm really interested in your work with veterans.
Yeah.
And maybe you could talk to me about, tell us about what, obviously we see a lot of problems with veteran suicide, veteran homelessness. Maybe talk about that and how you see cannabis fitting into that, and then, what your organization is doing in particular.
Totally. So I think there's a couple of factors to this. Number one, I think one of the biggest sources of issues for veterans, and it's one that I've faced as well, when we get out of the military, we lose that sense of purpose, right? Because the military is more than a job. It's more than a lifestyle. It is everything. The entirety of your existence is wrapped in the military. Every person you spend time with is your unit, right? You get off work, you hang out with the same people you worked with, and you kind of get trained on this idea that you will give anything for the mission, for the greater good, for the others around you. Even if you don't believe in it, right? I'm not the most patriotic person on the planet for a variety of reasons, but God, do I love my Marine Corps. You know what I mean? So we lose that sense of purpose when we get out. And a lot of us flounder with jobs. And you'll notice that if you look at the way veteran careers progress, they either go terribly wrong, and a majority of them go terribly wrong and they never make it past entry level. They flip through jobs, they hate their life, or they rise to the very top of the heap very quickly, right? They go from manager to director in a year. They go from director to vice president in 2 years. They make it to the C-suite within 3 to 5 years, right? They rocket ship through. Most of that comes down to this sense of mission, right? So from a career perspective, I personally found, and I've seen it happen dozens of times because I've been with other veterans charities in the past that did similar things, cannabis can become their mission because you can believe in the plant, you can believe in the stuff. So even if you don't keep the same job, you still have the same focus, right? And for veterans, it's that little subtle change because we're used to changing every 2 years, right? Here's your new duty station. Here's your new deployment. Here's your new this thing. So even if they change jobs, they're keeping the same mission, right? They have this blinders on that allow us to keep going with the mission. Secondary to that, I think cannabis as a medicine or even just as a recreational substance is significantly better than alcohol or the pills the VA try to throw at us in a variety of ways.
No doubt.
When I first got out, before I started smoking weed, they were giving me 9 pills a day. I would weigh 330 pounds. I blew up. I gained 120 pounds or something. It was just not good, right?
For PTSD, or was that for an injury? Or
all kinds of stuff. Man, they just throw medicine at you. They're here's 5 or 6, and here's one to fix the one we gave you, and oh, your knee hurts, so here's this thing, and it's not good. So you can kind of combine those two things, right? Where it's good for our health. And this is my story and I see it all the time, right? It was good for my health. I really enjoyed it. Oh, this could be my mission. Then it becomes our mission, right? Now we can continue to produce that stuff. So that's kind of the purpose of HeroGrown in a nutshell, is to help veterans transition into cannabis. I've said it a couple of times. The chaos of combat transitions perfectly into the chaos of cannabis. The issue I see a lot of times kind of goes to that either great success or great failure. One of the things I wish people understood more about veterans is when they buy in on the mission, they're gonna do what's best for the organization, even if it means their boss is the problem, or their boss's boss is the problem, or their boss's boss's boss is the problem. So we had this phrase in the Marine Corps. They said, no better friend, no worse enemy. Hire veterans. They will be the best workers on the planet. They will do more than anybody else. They will put in more hours. They will work harder. But be prepared that they're going to want to get the best, and they're never going to come at you for a bad reason. They're going to come at you to make your company better because they believe in the mission as much or more than you do. And if anybody needs a real kick in the ass to hire veterans, there's this thing called WOTC, WOTC. I learned this when I was helping out HR and payroll provider. Basically what it means is 50 to 90% of a veteran's salary for the first 9 months to a year that they're employed is tax write-offable. So you can hire 2 veterans for the price of 1 person for up to the first year. And it's state by state on length of time and percentage, but it's a federal program. And yes, it's a tax break that even plant-touching cannabis operators can get.
Wow.
So when you're a small struggling business, to me, it's like a no-brainer. You want to hire somebody that believes in your shit as much as you do and pay them half as much or pay them twice as much and spend the same amount of money? You can.
Wow. That's a really good tip. I like that. I mean, I love the parallel too, because I feel, it's so obvious, I think, to most of us that cannabis is a mission and we are in a war. There are all these entrenched interests that are against us and want to see us fail. And it is a mission, I think especially after the pandemic, a lot of people left after the pandemic, but the people that stayed around, people that are in it for the long haul. I don't know about you. I've been in for more than a decade.
Coming up on a decade.
Yeah, I love this industry and I don't want to leave. So yeah, it is a mission. And of course it's about people's health, but it's also about the planet. It's about the environment. There's a lot of reasons. And of course it's also about offering people who perhaps have limited opportunities, gives them new access to new opportunities. The ability to finally create generational wealth and all that kind of stuff is all there. It's all wrapped up in that mission. So I love that. I think it makes so much sense. So it's HeroGrown, right?
Yeah.
And so anybody is it HeroGrown.org? They can go and find out
Actually,
more.
not the one to ask about that, but yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Well, yes, Google HeroGrown if you want to find out more. And I think that's, I really appreciate the work you're doing with that. I think that's, it's all about giving back, right? So it's great that you're giving back in that way. All right. Well, that's really cool. So I guess this is a good segue. I always like to end with this, Brett, which is, what advice would you give to people coming into the industry, the cannabis industry today? Do you encourage people to come into the industry, or what do you tell them? It's not a pretty picture, right?
So I made a meme about this one time and I posted it on LinkedIn and everybody was like, oh, this is kind of inappropriate, but it's also so spot on. So basically imagine a toilet seat and then you put cardboard on it and you cut the little hole in it and it said expert mode, right? That's how playing in cannabis is, right? That is the industry we're in. There are headwinds, volatility, chaos. There's a lot of shitty people. There's a lot of amazing people. There's regulations that help us, regulations that hurt us, mostly hurt. Basically, everything in cannabis is 3 to 5 times harder than anywhere else. You get paid less, you get appreciated less, you have to deal with more. So if you want to jump into cannabis, it has to be a passion. Because none of the normal things that get people through exist. you have to do it because you love it, whether it's the plant or the people or the community or some other piece of the pie. Don't do it unless you truly believe in it, because you're just going to end up burnt out. Like there's this gif of like a baby running in the room and then going, ah, and like running out of the room in the other direction. We see it all the time. Some big wig from tobacco or food bev alk or some CPG executive, they make 3 to 5 months and they dip out. On the other side of that, you've got legacy guys who've been doing it for 30 years, barely turning a profit, like who refuse to give up. Somewhere in the middle is gonna be the successful people, right? Like you have to have the grit and the passion of the OGs with a little bit of that, like, I know how to fix a problem. Not all the problems, not every single problem, but fix one problem. That's my advice.
I love it. I think that's, it's just about going in with your eyes open too. And I talk to so many people who are like, oh, that's a really great industry to be in. It's like, and oh, there's a lot of money in that industry.
The best part about being in cannabis is that you're the coolest guy on the airplane when people ask you what you do, because you think you have a unique job. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's true. As long, and I think, it is true that as I like to say, 75 years of propaganda has had its effect. There is definitely bias and stigma, but people are intrigued.
They are, every single time.
It's like, oh, that's interesting.
That's weird. You start getting into like terpenes and they're like,
oh yeah,
I had no idea.
No, did you know that there's an endocannabinoid system in your body with receptors that actually pick up on the different cannabinoids? It's like, no, I didn't know that. Nobody knows that.
Your dog has one too. Everything with a central nervous system. And they're like,
really? Yeah. And that's, that's
my
why
favorite one that I hit people with is, did you know there are cannabinoids in breast milk? And they're like, oh my God, baby's high. And I'm like, yeah, they're called endocannabinoids and they exist within your own body because we produce them. And like, it really messes with people.
Well, on that note, I think that's a good note to end on. This is all about education, right? And, my whole thing is it's all about medical and it's all about education. And that's why we have an industry today. So, So, hey, I appreciate it so much, Brett. Thank you so much for your time. And it's great to hear your story.
Thank you.
Oh, that's right. Wait, we missed something.
You did.
You know what? All right.
Let's unend.
Yeah, we're not going to end yet because I want to hear about this LinkedIn thing. Tell me about this. I understood that you had a client's page that was blocked or banned. Tell me about that.
I feel so betrayed by LinkedIn. So for those who don't know who I am, I have a pretty big LinkedIn following, probably number 3 or 4 in the whole cannabis industry. I've put a lot of time and effort into it. I've been one of the big champions of LinkedIn for cannabis careers as a safe place for cannabis companies, right? And by and large, it has been for a very long time. Not perfect, not great. It's got its own niche. I feel so betrayed. So a couple of weeks ago, went to log into a client's page to check on the progress. We had consistently been top in follower growth amongst their competitors for like 4 months in a row. I'm like, we're killing it. Like I was feeling myself, like riding the high. I'm like, I'm doing something. The big red tag of doom at the top. Page has been shut down. Only admins can see it. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Why? So it took me a week. Seven different teams on LinkedIn. I had to reach out to the people who paid for the company. Like we paid for the company's sales navigator. I had to go on X, a totally different social media website, to tweet at them or whatever it's called on there now to get any sort of resolution. So it took a week to get the page back. You know what they told me? They said, we flagged it for selling vape products. No, this particular client is a terpene supplier. They don't sell vape products. They don't sell anything illegal, no cannabinoids whatsoever. They sell botanically and hemp-derived terpenes and terpenes only. They target cannabis companies. They sell it for vapes, for edibles, for all of that stuff, but zero actual things. And even at the end, they're like, yes, we'll give you the page back. It's back up, but please read the community standards. And I'm like, dude, I did, and you still flagged us. So for me, it's been a pretty big wake-up call that, like, it may technically be allowed, but it doesn't stop whatever AI bot they have from thinking it's not. The other weird part of it here was I even reached out to the ads account guy because I love running LinkedIn ads. I really do. I like targeting because you can target people and individuals, and I think I mentioned it primarily in B2B cannabis, so it's a really good way to target the right people. They told me I could run ads from a page that they shut down. How does that make any goddamn sense? I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on this, but sorry.
Sure. It's kind of borderline. I don't even know if I would consider that cussing. We could probably go get worse. But I think you were fine.
Either way, it didn't make any sense. Like I can run ads off a page that I can't even make a post on? Make that make sense.
Yeah.
That make sense. So it's thought that we need backups, man. It's why stuff like Leafwire exists. Because we all know Meta's not safe, right? We gotta have a home that's safe.
Instagram, not safe. Absolutely. And full disclosure, that was part of my motivation. I reached out to you because I wanted to hear more about this. And yes, as everyone has probably heard me say it 1,000 times, that's why we have this safe split space. Come home to Leafwire. You can post there, create company pages there, and you won't get shut down. And just so you know, we also have the ability to do targeted advertising like that, both by industry sector as well as geographically. So, for your next client, we should talk. Awesome. Okay. We had one false termination.
That's okay.
But I think we are actually done now. Brett Puffenbarger, thank you so much for coming today and for all you do for the industry. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
You got it. We'll see you soon.